We are going off the rails once again. Hello, everyone. I'm Craig. Today, I'm joined alongside by my friends Denny, Jackie,
Hi.
and Rhino. And this is going to be very fun today. We are going off the rails yet again, like we've done a couple times now. But this time around, we are going off the rails over the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World. And specifically with this, we have already covered in depth what is actually already announced for Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary, like officially details that we know this is what we're going to see. And in the past we've talked about like timelines on, hey, when's Harmonious going to debut, when's some of the attractions that were supposed to be done for the 50th, when are they going to open up? We've asked those questions before, but now the question that we are going to further ask ourselves and discuss as a group today is, has the 50th anniversary gotten to a point where it will not be possible to live up to the hype that Disney fans put into such a milestone anniversary? Because the last park to have a big anniversary like this really was Disneyland for the 60th anniversary, and then even that, Disneyland for the 50th anniversary before. And those were two big blowouts, but this is Walt Disney World's first like really truly massive blowout. And it seems like it would be very, very difficult for it to actually live up to the hype that we as Disney fans are already putting into it. And so that's why I have to ask the question to the group. Can it live up to our expectations or anyone's expectations? And before we get into this, I just need to remind you that if you like our content and you want to support us here at the Diz Unplugged, the best way you can do that is by booking your upcoming vacation through Dreams Unlimited Travel. If you're planning on coming to Walt Disney World for the 50th anniversary and you want that extra help, or you want no help at all and you just want to support us because you like us, Dreams Unlimited Travel, all of the agents can help you out. You can get a free, no obligation quote, and then your agent can work with you as much as you want or as little as you want. Your vacation is in your hands. It's all about you having the best one, though. And hey, if you can help us out too, that would be great. So get that quote today at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. And then please, please, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. And then also make sure you're subscribed to our channel. So let's get on with the show.
No.
Okay.
There it is.
There you go.
Friends,
Okay,
that's been our show.
We will see you
That's
next
our
week.
show.
Thank you very much.
Tuning in,
Ready.
please like and subscribe.
That's really going off the rails this time.
No, I have to tell you, I don't know how everybody else felt because I wasn't part of the discussion and I didn't see the show on Tuesday. So I when they made this announcement, I have to say that to use the word underwhelmed would be an understatement. That I feel like they announced things that were borderline already some normal stuff, like the Animal Kingdom getting the lease thing, just saying that basically, okay, well, remember when we used to light the tree up again? We're going to do that again, but sell it like it's brand new, even though it's not. And then the Epcot, the Animal Kingdom, I'm assuming maybe they'll update the projections in some way, although the concept art looks like somebody was just like, Hey, do you have like a little bit of iridescence I could scrape over that old picture of the Tree of Life so we could just make it look a little extra special? Like, gotcha, pal, we got this. And then the Epcot, the lights they're adding to the ball at Epcot, I think that's going to look fantastic. I'm glad that that's going to be a permanent fixture. Hopefully that will look great and things. But that was part of Epcot's like transformation already that we already know is probably not going to be anywhere near what we hoped and dreamed it could be. And then at Hollywood Studios, getting the projection show on Tower of Terror, which again, it not projection show, but what I am assuming is just projections to make it look iridescent, which is again not super difficult to do because we know all that technology is already in place because of the Christmas projections they've been doing the last couple of years. And then Magic Kingdom, they're like, remember, we've been painting the castle. Well, we've got a little bit extra, like little speck of pixie dust we're going to throw at that a little bit more to give it a little bit extra shine than it already has. But like that's kind of it. And then our two characters, Mickey and Minnie, are going to have new costumes, and cool. I was like, are people going to plan vacations for things that are just literally someone turned on different lights and then Mickey and Minnie came out in their early 2000s garb? I know this isn't official early 2000s garb, but if everybody remembers, like right at that 1999 2000 where you could get those shirts that kind of like very reflective, very Back to the Future. See the hat up there? I'm going to wear that every day on the 50th because it's that Marty's 2015 hat. But I was like, this feels like nothing to me.
Oh. Well, because it does border on nothing. Just keeping it real. On a normal year, when everything is going wonderfully and we're not in the middle of a global pandemic, the answer would still be no. I mean, we Disney fans are zealots sometimes, and so, or a lot of times. I mean, that's we want perfect all the time, right? And no matter what Disney does, it will fall short. It will not please absolutely everyone, and someone will find something to complain about in all situations, whether it be the merch, the cupcakes, the whatever. I'm just hoping they have cupcakes this year. If I get a cupcake, I'll be happy. But like, we knew it rolling in on Thursday night. We saw the hype reel and went, okay, that's a whole lot of nothing. And to be honest, can they announce anything grand and miraculous on Friday morning during a weather segment on Good Morning in America? No, they can't. Because we're in the middle of a global pandemic, and they're doing the level best they can.
And
I do want to. Sorry, I just because I went off for so long. I just want to say, like, yes, I am also very aware of like a pandemic, and thank you, Denny, for saying that. Because right after I stopped talking, I was like, I should have started with that. So, but I want to say that they can't keep using that excuse, because when we were at D23, and I know that was the end of 2019, they were like, oh, we've had these details. They also know they had the 45th anniversary where nothing happened. It was just like the special map and like merchandise for that day. And it was, so they knew this date was coming for so long before we got here. And I don't want to hear anything about they laid off all the cast members, because they could bring all those cast members back to help get us all ready for this preparation as things hopefully begin to normalize. But sorry, Craig, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you didn't. And then Jackie just shushed you. Straight up. I know. That was your husband. I know.
Stop right now.
Zip it.
Walking out of his office.
Mickey's listening. But you didn't cut me off there. The one thing I wanted to say is, as Denny pointed out, that on the Thursday night before they made the announcement Friday morning, they did show off the sizzle reel that was just very quick, where we could clearly tell, like, okay, we're going to get to see some of Mickey and Minnie's costumes, and we get to see that there are changes to the park icons. That was about it. So in that sizzle reel, it kind of said, don't expect much, and this is technically it was only the second true announcement. I mean, it's the first real announcement, but besides D23 Expo, when they're saying, okay, we're going to build these attractions and they're going to be ready for the 50th anniversary. That's what I'm using, is technically that was the first announcement of what's to come. And then this was the first true announcement, where I was like, okay, maybe we'll see like the marketing campaign for this. What's going to be the perspective besides the slogan of what they're calling it, the world's most magical celebration? Is it? Yeah.
Yep.
And it's a year and a half, right? They said it was like
months.
Did they say 18 months? Yeah.
And so like we had the basics, and that's really all they needed to give with this one. But the problem is now it, again, which is why we even ask the question, it just sets up this building in our heads now of what else is there going to be. There will be food, specialty food items. There will be merchandise, but is there going to be enough besides that? Or is this just going to be a merchandise food event only, and then eventually down the line we'll get some of those other little special things that made like the Disneyland celebrations great, having refreshed fireworks, refreshed parades, refreshed attractions. But before we dig even deeper into it, Jackie, you didn't speak up yet. What's your take?
I know. You guys, I think that I'm such a different kind of a Disney fan from a lot of Disney fans. I don't tend to set my expectations quite so high, because I've learned over the years that you've got to manage your expectations in every aspect of your life, whether it's me being a Disney fan or just anything really. And so, and also I ran a business for a corporation as if it was my own. And so I understood money, and I understood that when you are planning something gigantic, the money that you need to pay for whatever that is has to come from someplace, And I don't remember what the final number was of cast members that have been laid off, but it isn't a matter of them just being able to bring them all back. Like, they need workforce behind all of these things. The magic isn't free. It's not free for Disney to make the magic. It's not free for us to go to enjoy it either. But they've got to have, when I think about it, Disney Cruise Line hasn't cruised since March of last year. Adventures by Disney, they haven't gone anywhere since the same time. It's absolutely, they are losing money like nobody's business. And I realize that their P&L doesn't look like the P&L that I was in charge of, but it's a P&L nonetheless. And those magical pixie dusted trees don't grow money. And so we all as a collective whole sort of have to be realistic about what's going on here. And I miss parades like no one's, like I just miss it so much. I don't even have the words to say how much I miss a parade. Disney has always had a parade for me. And so, and fireworks too. And I miss them just like all of you miss them. But those cost a lot of money and take a lot of manpower to make all of that happen. And I believe that whatever we are going to get, I believe it's going to be good. I really do. They find a way to make things magical. And I am really excited about all of this stuff that they've announced so far, because I think it's beautiful. The Mickey and Minnie's costumes, the embroidery on their costumes are different from anything I've seen. And I just think it's pretty. And the fact that they even used pixie dust is my favorite. So I'm excited.
I was just thinking about like when the last time that we had a big celebration at Walt Disney World was it the Year of a Million Dreams? The Years of a Million Dreams? Would that be the last
I
real
would
big one?
argue that
so.
that would probably be correct for Walt Disney World. Because that felt like it went on forever, and
I think it was like over 2 years or
yeah,
something. But
and it was you were always lucky enough for some reason to get the special fast pass. Like that, I felt like we got that at least once every single trip, and we took multiple trips during that point in time. So
lucky
I think that was the last big one, because like you mentioned, well, we all know the joke on the Diz. If you've been watching the Diz for over 10 years, they were very critical on the 40th anniversary when there was this hopes that there would be more for that anniversary celebration, and there really wasn't. There was a special map, there was a limited amount of cupcakes and merchandise, and then everyone thought, okay, we're going to get this awesome special fireworks show. And it was special. It was Wishes, but they showed it with the perimeter fireworks. And it was insane.
It was just a one-day thing, right?
It was the one day, one time only. I remember being there with my family. Like, it was so crowded that my dad went and got a hot dog for he and I at Casey's, and this was like maybe like 20 minutes before the fireworks. And so by the time he got it and got close enough to where I was, literally, and it's gross to think about it now, strangers were handing me my food because it was that jam packed that he couldn't even get to stand beside me for it. And
my
so it's
gosh.
like, it was a
Yikes.
really crowded, nightmarish day for ultimately not that much that actually happened. And then the 45th, nothing happened once again, except the ceremony in the morning where they went to unroll the
Yes, and
banner
it
on the
wouldn't roll.
castle, and it got stuck as it was
Oh my
coming
gosh.
down.
I remember that too. I
Perfect.
was there for that. Oh my gosh.
Sublime.
I was gonna say, in terms of like the hype for it, like we don't I don't, what would you want, right? Like you already said,
Yeah.
I think Disneyland already had, I think they're, you know, and obviously because that's the first time I ever went to Disneyland was around the 60th anniversary celebration, because that went on for a while, but that's kind of the blueprint. I don't know really what else you'd want, because we don't have fireworks right now, and we don't have parades right now. I mean, we have the flotillas and the cavalcades and stuff like that could get a little bit of extra magic, but it is one of those things, like you asked the question, Craig, the hype behind it, like other than a new attraction opening or new attractions opening, like what else could possibly happen that really would be exciting enough to impact your vacation to make you be here, other than just saying you wanted to be here because it was the actual anniversary, like in October, and then that's it. I'm curious. I don't know. For me, nothing.
Yeah, as far as something that'll, persuade you to go ahead and visit. If you were like, oh, I'm not going to the 50th, but then you hear about this amazing thing and you think, oh, I've got to be there now. I don't know that there is anything on that level, because Tron is not opening by October 1st. I don't think. I could eat my words. That'd be great if I did, but I don't think it's happening. But the stage in front of Cinderella Castle is being redone right now. So maybe we're getting a new stage show. If I'm not mistaken, they did one for Cinderellabration, I think, back at the 35th. So that would be great if we got a new neat stage show. Maybe that'll be done in time for the.
Even then,
but
fantasy said. Fair? Why can't I think of the name?
I know. Friendship Fair.
Friendship Fair. Thank you. That show just debuted. What, 3 years ago? 2016 or 2017. So even that's like, it doesn't feel like it's old enough to be like, let's really change it up. But I will say, like, if they really level that castle stage and they don't have the big turrets that were there in front that are currently not there while they're doing the construction, if those are gone forever, I will be so happy. I think they take away from the view of how beautiful the castle actually is by sticking up in front. So what turrets what are you talking about? So from the stage show? Yeah. So like the ones that like Maleficent will stand on and they'll walk up the side, and the one that like in the last show that Mickey would go and stand up on, and then it would slowly grow up out of there. So those are okay. Yeah. As of this current second, those are not on the stage while they are refreshing the stage, and I hope they don't come back. But I mean, I will say a new show that is something to get hyped about with it. And you know, if we even know that at some point during the anniversary celebration that a new parade, nighttime parade specifically, or fireworks show is to come, that's something to get hyped up about. But even some of like the attractions that there was rumors about being refreshed, like It's a Small World, there was a lot of pointing, and I haven't been up to date on rumors, so I don't know if that one's just been if people are still talking about that, if it's still to come, but adding characters to Our Small World, like that's anything they could announce to start to like throw in, that would start to build up the hype in a good way, because right now it is one of those things where it seems like Harmonious will probably debut before the celebration starts, or they'll hold off and they'll say, okay, that's your big that's your big nighttime celebration will be harmonious. And I could see that happening, but and then for the people who haven't visited in a while, it'll be your first chance to ride Remy's Ratatouille adventure. And then there you go. You have two things that,
at Epcot.
Yeah.
That was built in 1982. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my
and
goodness.
is quickly approaching its 40th. And yeah, so
They should have just banked it for Epcot, to be honest with you. They should have just like been like, okay, sorry. Because for me, the 50th, like, yes, it's Walt Disney World's 50th, but it's still like the only thing that has been here since then is essentially Fort Wilderness, right? And I'm sorry, Magic Kingdom, obviously.
Mhm.
And then Fort Wilderness was an opening day resort, right?
Fort Wilderness,
Yes.
Contemporary,
Contemporary
and Polynesian, and clearly Polynesian, they are going to be finished with their Moana themed refresh really soon.
Okay, because I was going to say it seems a shame to me that they didn't just, when this all started happening, they were like, okay, here's the deal. We're gonna have to refocus our energy and go all in on being like, what are we celebrating here? Where does it all start? And for this part, because I know we're unique compared to Disneyland, obviously. I would have liked maybe all that attention to go in there. Like you said, characters in Small World. How long would Small World have to be down to add characters like that? Probably not very long, right? And maybe just like little overlays here and there. You know that we've seen Gunpowder Pete and the extra pirates in the Pirates ride. I don't know how that would work right now, but obviously, it's just maybe something with like just something with the rides, just some extra magic on the rides, something in Space Mountain with like how they did for like Christmas with the lights or something. I don't know. And obviously we don't know that yet, but let's say they do say that's what they're going to do, that all these rides are going to get a little bit of that extra touch. Do you feel like that'll fall into your hype better? Do you feel like that'll align with hype a little more?
I mean, anything that they do to kind of plus it up or make it unique, like, oh, I was there when, like those of us who were there for the Cake Castle, and we tell tale of this big pink thing in the middle of the park. So that's one thing that makes some of the hard ticket events so neat is you go during Mickey's Not So Scary and all the lights are off in Space Mountain and they blast rock music throughout the entire thing. And you regret going on the attraction the entire ride. But, I'm just teasing. I do. But I mean, I'm glad that I can say, yeah, I would on that. Like that was fun. That was a different iteration of that ride.
See, that's the thing. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Craig.
No, go.
It's like I feel like when you're there for something special and different like that, it's kind of really cool. And I feel like they were probably planning a lot of things years ago for the 50th.
Yep.
And I feel like a year ago when COVID announced its presence, that all of that probably likely had to just be tossed right out on its ear. Because everything's different now. And so now I feel like they're saying, well, what can we do? What can we do? And I think that that's really, it'd be so cool if they, like you guys were saying, just refresh some attractions. Gosh, I would love to see the characters in It's a Small World. And I'm really curious to know what's happening with Peter Pan's flight, because it seems like there's an awful lot happening there, and I'm not seeing a lot.
From what I understand, none of those attractions will probably ever receive any significant updates because they are 4 attractions that share one massive show building. So if one attraction receives an update, it has to become ADA compliant, and it means all the things in that building have to be ADA compliant. So if one of those attractions ever receives a major update, every attraction will receive a major update. And so I would not bank any money on anything that is touching the Peter Pan building to ever really get that in the near future, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Sorry, I just don't. I want to burst your bubble before it gets way too big. That's all I'm
Yes,
saying. Like
thank you.
a paint,
I need
maybe
that.
paint job and projections. I don't know how much work can actually be done without them having to then become ADA compliant. Obviously they can repaint the attraction. I don't know how much work qualifies as being able to have to do that, but that's my understanding is that everything in that building would have to get upgraded.
Okay. That's
Fun fact
interesting,
about that.
Rhino.
Yeah,
I love knowing that. Yeah.
I
I
learned
think-
that recently. Yeah.
Ultimately, we are still going to get a merchandise and food heavy celebration for the 50th anniversary. But if we aren't looking at all these extras that we've seen from Disneyland celebrations in the past before, if we don't get any of the things that go along with entertainment and attraction upgrades and updates and new attractions opening, if we don't get any of that, is food and merchandise enough to be a hype event for us? Because here's where I'm on the fence. I am sitting here months and months away from October saying, no, it's not enough. It should be a big celebration. However, the way Disneyland created stuff for the 60th, and specifically because I didn't go to Disneyland for their 50th. I have merchandise from the 50th, even though I didn't go there. But for the 60th, I bought in like full-fledged on the merchandising and the food and beverage options when I was out there for that celebration. And I mean, I can literally turn around and I'm probably going to see at least 10 to 15 different things just from that celebration that I bought. So clearly when it's an anniversary, I am willing to go all in on that. But if that's all it is it enough? Is it enough for everyone?
I think it's enough. I think it's really great for us. We live here, or at least 3 out of 4 of us who live the closest. But like, it's great for us because it makes it fresh for us to be able to go to keep trying new things. Again, that's why I like the festivals, at least when they refresh these booths, like the stuff they've shown for Flower and Garden, having a lot more options this year in terms of like plant-based things. Where I was like, I already know there are 4 items I want to go try there. If something like that happens for the 50th in the fall, where the problem is with Walt Disney World, it has that reputation, I feel like, where the food, and I don't want to hear this, the regular average person's food, the average family of 4 here on a budget, their level of food has not historically been great. Okay, like we have some amazing sit-down restaurants at Walt Disney World. We have some amazing things, and it's come a long way in even just the years I've worked at the Diz. I'm always amazed now at how much better the quick service food is here. But on that level of what it's like in California, it's still, they do it so good there. If we could inject that into Walt Disney World for the fall and be like, okay, we're going to do all these things, we'll have Denny's Cupcake, we'll have those desserts, but we're also going to do some really interesting takes on other stuff, like quick, all that on the quick service level. I don't want this to be a celebration that's only for the rich.
Yeah, that's right.
No,
that's right. Everybody should be able to participate and have fun. Oh, I love that you said that. Yep.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
absolutely.
Because a lot of it's new families, a lot of it's young families with their little ones. I mean, our family went to Disneyland during their 50th anniversary celebration, and our kids were little, and we just soaked it all in and absorbed it all, and it was the best, and we loved it. And we only went maybe once a year, and I didn't work in the Disney line of things, travel, so I didn't know anywhere near as much as I know about Disney now. So it was all new. It was, and I feel like there's so many new families like that popping up every minute that are planning their first Disney vacation. So I think it'll be special for them, especially when they come again after the 50th. I think it'll create those memories that they're excited to talk about, that, wow, I was there for, Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary, and we have these special things and these special photos of whatever. And,
And I don't know that that all Walt Disney World fans need all the bells and whistles to
Yeah.
want to come and celebrate being here. That moment of just saying I was there, like if I'm trying to sit here and put myself in my shoes years ago when I was planning trips down here, well, I would
Mhm.
want to be here just to be here. I mean, you're not
Yeah.
coming that day to do all the rides in the park that day, because that day is going to be relatively crowded. I mean, less so now because we're going to have a reduced capacity. I would imagine we still have that on October 1st, but I would be here just to be able to say I was here and to definitely get that t-shirt and that cupcake. But
that's the day of. What about afterwards?
Yeah,
So what would the game changer be?
Do you guys have park reservations for that day, by the way?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yep.
Okay, because I was like, as an annual pass holder, do I have to give up that day now to only have 2 days for the rest of the year to use? Because I did not think of that.
I will just say for me, I do not have one for the first because with how my annual pass was, my annual pass is just now about to come.
Mine
up
expires in March.
So by the time that I was I think I was eligible as of the time we're recording this. I think I was eligible like maybe 5 days ago to even renew my annual pass. So once I was at that point, then I was like, I was holding out because I checked it on a weekly basis. I was like, okay, first still isn't sold out. I'm going to get to renew my pass and I'm going to be able to make this reservation. And sure enough, it was about 2 weeks-ish, 3 weeks-ish before all that happened. Like it still is relatively recent that October 1st sold out for annual pass holders. So it's, but you know what? It could open back up again. We don't know that, but
I would hope so for that very reason that a lot of people are in that middle ground with the annual pass. That's the part that's kind of like, oh, well, that's unfortunate. Like, whoops.
Yeah, it was just, it's how my cycle went.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do anything about that. And if I was hoping, but you know what? I hope I will be able to get in on that actual day to be able to celebrate it. But again, if there's nothing besides just being there, if there's nothing big and amazing happening, then, there is that specialness of being there on day one, but it's an 18-month long celebration. So it needs to be more than how can we make this one day special? We know that day is going to be special, just being there.
How do we kick it off?
I was here for the 49th anniversary in Magic Kingdom that day. And that was one of the saddest days because that's when they announced one of the extra layoffs, one of the additional ones. And there was this somber mood of everyone's in Magic Kingdom and anyone who was like an actual big Disney Parks fan who knew what was going on with cast members and stuff. It was a depressing day to be there because there was a complete change in mood where everyone was acknowledging like, yeah, we're trying to have fun here at Magic Kingdom on this anniversary date, but it's also hard when you know that a bunch of people are about to lose their jobs. And so but then at the same time, you're still there on that special day. You can still pull at least something from it. So that's why nothing has to be fantastic on October 1st. It doesn't have to be the day that if you missed out, then you missed it for good. Just like with Disneyland's last celebration, the thing started 2 months before Disneyland celebrated theirs. So, if you're there on the actual day, it was big, but for how they did it, debuting the new fireworks and the new parade and attraction upgrades, you needed to go way ahead of time. So that's where I'm also like, with Walt Disney World, it's a bold freaking move to make the actual start date on the day of the anniversary. Yeah. Because that's the day that everyone does want to be there. So and I was thinking for a long time, before COVID, that if we were having a big anniversary, it was going to start very early, like Memorial Day very early, and run Memorial Day of 2021 all the way to 2022. Then. But because that would give enough time for people to come in and start seeing everything, and then have the anniversary and really go crazy for a while longer. But clearly none of that's happening. So I don't think they're going to set themselves up to make October 1st the cluster day by being everyone wants to be there. Everyone wants to see all the new things and say that they were actually there on that day. I don't know. I'm still wrestling with it, but it's.
Do you two go every year on October 1st?
Who are you pointing to?
I don't go every.
You two are above me. Sorry, I'm pointing at the Brady Bunch. Denny and Craig. Yeah.
I usually try to make it into a park on a big day. I haven't been to Magic Kingdoms as much. I like to be in Epcot for sure, which same day. So
Yeah.
which one do you pick? And I've picked Epcot. It was a big deal for me to be in Epcot for their 35th and to buy the t-shirt and to just say I was there, which is oddly what the t-shirt says as well. I was there. But.
Yeah, I'm actually the same way. I have on October 1st, I'd probably say that I've been in Epcot more on October 1st versus Magic Kingdom, but I've done Magic Kingdom. It's close. I've done Magic Kingdom 3 or 4 times, and then I've done Epcot the others. So but I'm always in one of those 2 parks
on October 1st.
Yeah. It's,
Interesting.
It's that extra feeling that it's in the air.
It is.
Weirdos.
It is.
Thank you.
Well,
I'm a weird adult Disney fan, and I'm proud of it.
I want to point that out. I mean, Denny, we always know that you're a super fan of Jackie, obviously, but Craig, I feel like you always get a lot of slack, and I wanted to point out that I was just sitting here listening to you talk and realizing that of the people I know, Denny, I would have assumed was always there every day, but I was like, I bet you go somewhere every day on these dates of note. So it always annoys me when people say you're not a fan, because I'm always like, no, you appreciate it. You appreciate history, and you appreciate that sort of stuff very much. So that's cool. I'm not making fun of you. I do think I do appreciate that you make it a special thing for yourself.
No, it's not making fun of. It's just it'll be the 9th time I say it here. There is a feeling in the air that is different being there on that day. It's something you can't quantify at all, but you can feel it, especially when you know that a majority of the people there are also there for the exact same reasoning. I mean, I don't know of many other times that can actually you have that same exact feeling. Like sometimes, yeah, sure, with the start date of a festival, that's always exciting. Or the first Christmas party or first Halloween party. There's a specialness to that, but not like an anniversary that's actually getting. If it's getting a little recognition, it's even better. But even on those off years where it gets nothing, it's that your people are still around you and they're there for the exact same reasoning. It's there's just something about it. Yeah.
I love that.
We feed off each other's energy.
It's that energy I get when I go to Disneyland. I talk about. It's exactly what you're talking about. I don't feel like it's always as present here at Walt Disney World, because I feel like, Disneyland being a lot more annual pass holders and people like that there. So when you have that concentrated level of love all at the same place, you can always feel it, no matter what whether it's Disney or anywhere you go, when you're in a midnight release of a superhero movie and you can feel it,
Yeah. It's a shared experience.
It's fun. And that feeling.
It is. Yeah. It's more fun. Like on April 22nd.
Part of the hype, honestly, probably.
Yeah. I love April 22nd is Animal Kingdom's birthday, and that's one that I rarely miss. Like I want to be there. I want to ride Expedition Everest that day. I want to just wish the park a happy birthday. So I mean, it's fun to be there on the day. And here's the thing about it, and Craig, I'm glad that you brought it up again, the fact that it's an 18-month celebration. Having such a wide berth for this celebration, what if we get the all clear on fireworks? I mean, one of the international parks, they're bringing back fireworks in March. So what if we get that at some point during the celebration, The arc of the celebration, we get to have fireworks back, or we get the green light to have parades back, and that's another big sweeping moment to be had. And just
I
all
think
these,
that's why they're not starting it until the 1st.
Yeah,
because
they
they
can
want to
give. Yeah,
They're holding out hope that they can do as much as possible when it is ready to start. I think we've kind of nailed it, though. It's that it's hyped up for a lot of people, but I think even if it is the bare minimum, it is still such a special anniversary, and Disney fandom is really based around merchandise and food. And so it will be successful just based on that. But we also know that Disney does want to do a little bit extra, and it might not be right away, but it's an 18-month celebration. It will eventually be bigger than what it is on October 1st, hopefully. And I think it will live up to the hype that people are putting on it. But it would be interesting if we could go in that alternate reality and see what it was like in a world without COVID, what they would have done for the 50th. I would do anything to see that, because I can't imagine what it would have been.
Yeah, if that could be a Leslie Iwerks documentary on Disney Plus sometime.
Yes, please.
Leslie, tell
That's
us
great.
what the intentions were. We'd like to see what was the blue sky for this celebration.
I didn't mean to be like hypercritical in the beginning. I just have a problem when Disney tries to oversell something that is maybe under that's my only, that's I guess what I was trying to verbalize, is that I don't like, I think it was when they brought up the cast members too being like at the front of it, and I'm like, oh, are you going to give everybody a raise for the celebration? Is that what you're saying? Or like, what are you going to do to make this special for them? Or are you just leaning into the people that you oftentimes are, the first ones, the front, they're out there every day making the magic. You know what I mean? I just want it to be special for them.
They're going to get a special name tag for sure. So and I'm sure they will get a little small token and a present for being there on the day.
That'd be cool.
I know they're going to get that stuff, but that's like looping it all back around with it too. This is still just the beginning part of all of this. This was announced on Good Morning America, and then at the same time on Disney Parks blog. Good Morning America isn't going to... It's a quick pace show first thing in the morning that has to move from segment to segment to segment. As Denny pointed out too, they are not going to do the reveal that Harmonious is debuting here. And I only specifically say that because our friend of the show, Matt Dobrovolsky, and I were talking about it on Twitter. He pointed out he thought that was going to be an announcement. And to me, that didn't seem plausible. Someone sitting at home watching Good Morning America who isn't connected into the Disney realm, if they see, oh, Harmonious is going to be debuting, who cares? But this was also a teaser for them saying, oh, Walt Disney World celebrating its 50th anniversary on October 1st, and we're doing a big celebration. Did you know that? That's going to catch my attention. If I'm someone who maybe hasn't been in a long time, and I needed that little piece of meat to drag me in, I feel like that's what they did showcase was enough to say like, oh, this is something special that I should care about.
I had somebody back home say to me, oh, the theme parks are open? And I was like, what? Yeah. like I was like, what do you, they're like, oh, that's good. You're still working. And I was like, oh my God, you are so checked out of my life. Who are you? It was my mom. No, it wasn't my mom, but it was a relative. One of my relatives was like, oh, the theme parks are going. It might even be my dad. I'm like, or something like that. But I was just like, my parents are divorced, so they're like not communicate with each other. But
you didn't send out your end of year Christmas recap to all your family members?
They missed out on the newsletter that I do. But I just thought it was so cool. It just goes to show you when you're so close to a fandom. Sometimes when you're when you are so in love with a fandom, when your nose is touching that wall of that fandom and you are looking so close, you can't back up and see the full picture. You don't understand that there are some people who say, I'm a Disney fan, and they are a Disney fan, but that doesn't mean that they consume it on a daily basis. They can be the biggest Disney fan ever and only consume it in terms of those vacations. And there are very important things going on in the world right now that are way more important than this. But Craig, you made an excellent point where it was the announcement to snap it into people's minds to also be like, yeah, we are open, everybody. Just so FYI, we are open. Like,
Yeah,
if
it's
you didn't-
very smart. Yeah, I thought it was brilliant
Yeah.
the way
Yeah.
they did that. Here's
So-
a taste.
It's just a taste, and now we've got to just keep waiting for everything else. And I'm sure we will hyper analyze overly
Oh, yeah.
over
That's our
and
job.
over and over again to the
Yes.
point that it seems like we're being overly critical on all of it. And yeah, it's way too much. We don't need to be doing this much, but that's part of going off the rails, is that we're going into way more depth than needs to ever be there. But it's fun. It's fun to just sit around and talk about this stuff. It's so meaningless, but at the same time, it's fun. And
So fun.
yeah, so
Fun
that's
is my favorite.
I think that's where we have come from it. It will ultimately, maybe not for the reasons we think it will, but it will live up to a lot of the hype, if not all of it, hopefully. But we got to get back on the rails now at this point. What's it? Yeah. Yep, that's right.
There it is.
That's right, Choo Choo Master. Thank you very much. So, okay, everyone. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up on the video. One more time, if you are planning an upcoming trip to Walt Disney World for the 50th anniversary, please consider using Dreams Unlimited Travel, the experts at helping you plan the perfect vacation. You can get more information on the web at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. So go ahead and do that, and we'll see you again next week when we go off the rails again. Bye-bye.